Hello, Elizabeth Statlander back again to do a part 2 on social media, dating, and relationships. I was really happy to see that I got so much reaction to the first post and the topic of what is and is not appropriate to expect from your significant other or your, whoever you're dating on social media. And I got a lot of interesting emails and phone calls actually from a few friends who felt really passionate about the subject. And what's interesting is I got two very opposing views. I got a group of people that said to me, social media and dating, if your partner is insecure about what you're doing on social media, or they're upset that you're liking pictures or talking to people on social media when you're dating them, that perhaps that's their issue. That if they are that insecure or concerned about who and what pictures you're liking, then maybe that's a reflection or an indication of how you feel about yourself, or maybe something that's lacking in the relationship. That a person should be able to have the freedom to speak to who they want and do whatever they want on social media, because it's so much a part of the culture today. And that concern about that is really a reflection of that person who's upset, not necessarily what's happening. On the other hand, I had some other people who felt completely different about it. And they felt that there's a very clear line about what is and is not appropriate to be doing on social media when you're in a relationship or when you're dating somebody. And I would say that my position would be somewhere in the middle. That I do think we have to have some standards for what is and is not acceptable on social media. It can't just be a complete free-for-all, obviously, because that would then basically be saying that relationships are a free-for-all, and that there has to be some boundary, some line that you just don't cross on social media. And kind of what I said in my last post, it's sort of like if you were out on a date with somebody, you certainly wouldn't go gawking at another person, at least I would hope not, if you're on a date or you're out with your significant other. So isn't doing some of that on social media the same idea? But on the other hand, if it's just something that you're doing, just to, make networks for your business or to keep in touch with friends, and you're liking pictures of people of the opposite sex or the sex that you're interested in, why should that be such a big deal? And maybe there is somewhere in the gray an area that is okay to do, that it is okay to be conversating and liking photos of people of the opposite sex, just as you would in your regular life. If you were walking down the street and you bumped into a friend of yours who was of the opposite sex, if you're in a relationship, you would certainly engage in a conversation with them and say, hey, you look great, or hey, I like your new outfit, and I don't know that would be such a big deal. So again, I'm coming up to the same point where there's so many interesting ways of looking at this. And I had a professor in graduate school who said something about verbal abuse, and I'll say how this ties into all this. And he would say, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. And I think that's probably the truth for our behavior on social media, meaning we maybe can't define exactly what is and what isn't appropriate, but we do know when something is inappropriate. And I think that we can maybe start by thinking about, okay, what would we do in a group of people in public if our significant other was there? And I think that is a good place to start, that we should have integrity about everything that we do. And if you're doing anything that the person you're committed to in a romantic relationship might not be comfortable with good reason, of course, then why would we do it on social media, right? When they're not looking, or eventually they'll probably see it. But if you follow what I'm saying, I think that what isn't appropriate, while it may be different for everybody, I do think that there can be a standard of appropriateness, and although I can't define it exactly, I think we all know when we feel that somebody has done something inappropriate. And that's where I would come in and hopefully be able to help couples or individuals kind of take a look at whatever's upsetting them and figure out how to engage their significant other about that particular topic. So I love the interest. Write more below, disagree with me, agree with me, give me your input. I'd love to hear it. I'm going to be doing a series of posts all week on social media, relationships, and dating. And I really hope that you'll tune in and follow me. Thank you and have a great night.